And they did see he had a 40.5 vert. But I was like, what would you do right now before he goes and plays? What would you do? And they said, we wouldn't draft him. Both of them said they would not draft him. I said, okay, let me give him a couple days. Let's see what happens after they watch him play. Now, this is their take after watching him play. Scout 1. I still don't think he's ready, but he did some good things. He's on the smaller side, so he's going to have to be elite on defense. You can see he has good vision, makes right passes, takes good shots. He's probably going to need more time. If the Lakers don't draft him, I don't see anyone drafting him. Teams would want him on a two-way, and I don't think Clutch would want that. It gets a little tougher. The other scout I talked to, positional athlete, doesn't function as an elite athlete, tweener stuck between two positions. Should be a point guard based on his size, but he can't run an offense. He's handicapped as an undersized shooting guard because he can't shoot. 0-4 on threes on one day, 1 for 3 the other day. Needs screens to create space, and his only scoring came on paint touch floaters and can only go left. His strength is supposed to be defensively, but he's a switch matchup. Every bigger player who switched on him scored. He's a poor man's Davion Mitchell. He is not an NBA prospect, in my opinion. Not my words, words of two veteran NBA.
Bob and I did not give Bronny anything. Bronny has earned this, right? Bronny talks about his hard work. Bronny has earned this through hard work. And for us, prioritizing player development, we view Bronny as like case study 1 because his base level of feel, athleticism, point of attack defender, shooting, passing, there's a lot to like about his game. And as we sort of build out our player development program holistically, he's going to have a great opportunity to become an excellent NBA player.
Welcome to the Laker locker room. What up, Rod?
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. Okay. So right out the gate, we see the spin, right? we see the spin. Scout saying one thing, and JJ Redick and the crew, they are spinning it already and trying to say that this is an earned position and he put in the work and he did all this amazing stuff to make this happen. Wow. But let's back up. Let's talk about the man that we heard last, JJ Redick. Where do we start? Okay. He has 0 coaching experience. His coaching experience consists of him coaching his team's Pee Wee League basketball team. All he did was commentate on the games. From what I understand, some people think JJ Redick's a nice guy, but I've also heard JJ Redick can be prickly and rub people the wrong way. And we know that, okay, JJ may have a grasp on the X and O's or, theory of basketball. He's really into analytics. But as much as it is that stuff there and the everything on paper, you got to be able to manage personalities. And the dynamic of him trying to manage LeBron James, somebody that pretty much put him in position from the podcast to the coaching spot. You owe this guy. And we all know if you can't coach the biggest name on the team, you can't coach the rest of the team. Okay? Add that to the factor in that the biggest name on the team got his son on the team. So that means you can't coach arguably the best player on the team or the worst player on the team. So everybody in the middle is free for all. I hope it's not a disaster, but it smells like a disaster. The floor is yours.
Hey, Rod, it has all the ingredients for something that could just go left, man. And You know, that's really what this is, man. It just feels like it's a show. It feels like it's exactly, the LeBron James show, the Clutch Sports show. I mean, you have Rich Paul, the agent, uh, basically threatening teams not to draft a player that nobody wanted to draft anyway. So you could tell that this is all a facade. Then you have the draft party, right, for the number 55 pick. I mean, when you fall that far into a draft, I don't think we ever had a draft party that deep into the selection.
Oh no.
And you're not gonna put that together if you don't know
Right,
that's gonna happen.
right, right.
You
So
know what I'm
it's
saying? So
manipulated to the T. And the worst part about the draft party is looking at Bronny's reaction. It felt forced. He didn't really look excited. I mean, how can you be excited about something that you've known for years going to happen?
yeah,
So, you know, this is a this is a clown show, man. I mean, to be honest about it, I mean, the Lakers show is now a clown show. This is just, and the rest of the NBA season. I mean, and we're gonna get into the free agency, but yeah, man.
yeah,
I think it's more reasons than one why we struck out on everybody we looked at so far in free agency. And
yeah, and
and
yeah,
I think that trend is going to continue. The only way we're going to be put something together is if we pretty much trade for people, basically forcing players to come here. But
mhm.
I don't think anybody wants to be a part of what's about to happen this season.
Yeah, Rod, and that's what we're gonna talk about in just a minute. So, welcome to the Laker Locker Room. He's Rod. I'm 411. You already see what the episode is obviously about. It's definitely about Lakers. I mean, because we've been doing this since 2016, as far as talking Lakers. So when you hear us talking, it's not because of the just because it's the Lakers or just because LeBron's on the team or whatever. Like we were doing this when we were drafting Lonzo Ball and D'Angelo Russell and back in those times. Now we've both been Laker fans a lot longer than that, just to give you some backdrop. But yes, this episode is in particular about the Lakers portion of the NBA draft. So we will talk about that. We already gave you a little snippet of the second round pick, number 50, the 55th pick. But we're gonna talk about the real player that was drafted, which was the 17th pick. Then we'll talk about free agency as well. And we'll probably weigh in a little more with this Bronny draft. So with that said, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, share because sharing is caring. Check us out on TikTok as well. Mr.411 on YouTube is 411 Sports World Network on YouTube. All right, so Rod, let's jump right into the draft. All right, let's go with the real draft pick, which was number 17, and the selection of Dalton Connect, the talent out of University of Tennessee, by the way of Northern Colorado, by the way of JUCO, 2 years prior to that. So, what's your thoughts on the Connect pick?
I like the pick. It's a solid pick. It's a pick that fell in our lap. I'm glad that we took it this time. I mean, last year we had a pick fall in our lap, and we decided to do something else, and hopefully, Hood Shafino pans out. But it's been a rocky start so far. So this year we decided to take the obvious. This kid had an outstanding college season last year.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent shooter, surprisingly athletic. He should fit right into the mold of what I would guess JJ Redick would like to do, which is shoot more threes, a lot of pin downs, a lot of body and ball movement. This guy's a great catch and shoot guy. So, interestingly, he could really set up a trade mid-season because he does a lot of the things that Austin Rivers done, minus the playmaking.
Yeah, yeah.
But from a finishing standpoint, he kind of covers that bill. And I know Austin Rivers is one of the more coveted players on our roster. We've been reluctant to move him, but if this guy can hit some of those minutes, that could free Austin Reeves up to be moved and bring in, another player that we may need. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, personally, I would like to keep Austin Reeves and make him a 6-man. Hopefully, this guy can take his starting spot. He's a bigger guy. A little weak on the defensive end, but with his size, athleticism, hopefully that can be coached up. Hopefully, he can bend but don't break, type defender. So we'll see how he goes, but I think he'll be able to play sooner than most rookies, being that I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's a 4-year player. So typically 4-year players are usually ready to play right away. That's the plus side to getting the player more mature. The last time we got a 4-year player was Kuzma. Kuzma made a pretty strong impact his rookie season. So I expect this kid to do very much the same.
Yeah, I think it's a solid pick. And it's at least it's a player that the Lakers coveted and didn't think they would get. So to be in the 17th position in the first round of the draft and to get a player that you didn't expect to get is a good thing. And you're right, he did play a lot of seasons. He did 2 JUCO seasons, and then he did 2 at Northern Colorado. Kind of like I would say a mid-major, I guess, level. And then at the his COVID year, right? So he got a bonus year out of it to play at Tennessee, and so he showed out that season. The growth spurt, I like what you said about the size, because he did hit a major growth spurt. At one time he was 5'8" in high school. Now he's like 6'7". So hitting those growth spurts is kind of like getting one of those. You win the genetic lottery, and at the same time for the Lakers, you kind of win the lottery in respects that you're getting a player that can probably turn out to be something special. Because last time I thought about a player that kind of was like a college conference player of the year type, Lou Williams comes to mind. KCP, Caldwell Pope comes to mind. So if he's anything somewhere within there, that's a win. You know what I mean? It's a win. And with him being an older player, he should understand and appreciate where he's at. And so I think that's going to help too. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, give a thumbs up for the Lakers for the first pick, for the first round selection. We give a thumbs up on that one.
Yeah.
And since we're talking draft, and I know, we already know who was selected with the number 55 pick.
Yeah.
The celebration, the emotion pouring out. Bronny James was selected. My goodness. Okay, ESPN already had tried to throw out the blank there, the protector shield there, saying, "Hey, nepotism. I don't want to hear anything about nepotism." You know what I mean? So they already kind of put the shield up, but we're not gonna let that happen over here, man. So let's really dive into this one, man. Bronny James, number 55. And I just start you off with a question, Rod. I already know the answer to the question about is it the right pick or not, but how bad was this pick?
Okay. It wasn't necessarily a bad pick because when you're talking that late in the first round, who cares? Most of the time, those guys don't make it. Yes, on the rare occasion, you in the 50s or in the late in the rounds, you might pull a Joker, you might pull a Draymond or something. Maybe you get lucky, but for the most part, you picking that late, you're probably gonna come up with trash anyway. But the reason why this year in particular, this draft was a weak draft, but it was actually strong in terms of big men. There were a lot of big bodies out there, and both foreign and domestic. We need size. I would have much rather saw us pick up some size, especially considering we've missed out on Valanciunas. Don't think this Milwaukee trade with Brook Lopez is going to work out. We missed out on Drummond. We've missed out on some big bodies, and that's been our Achilles heel for the past 2 seasons. We run into the Denver. They beat us because we lack the necessary size for Jokic. So I would much rather see us, you know, I don't care if he's just a big body, he had to give 6 fouls. I think that would have been better served than picking up Bronny. But another reason why this pick is bad, and not to pick on him, but the team dynamic. It's like the team dynamic that it brings when you're bringing in, you know, one of the best players of our generation. You bring in his son. How do you deal with him in a locker room? How do you deal? I mean, like, how do you really deal with this rookie? You know, and he's not just a rookie in a sense where, okay, he's a rookie with promise. He's a scrub. Let's be honest. If you're coming in that late, you're a scrub. So how do you? So now you have to treat this scrub with kid gloves because he's one of the greatest of all times, son, and he's still on the team.
Right.
This great player is still on the team. So, you know, that and then on top of that, like I said, the coaching aspect of it is like, where is the accountability going to come from for him to really grow? And of course, people will be like, oh, it's going to come from LeBron. Well, he's already gotten that his whole life. You know, he's already gotten that dad accountability. But if you're going to step into a man's world, you can't be clinging on to daddy. So me personally, first and foremost, I think Bronny should have went at least another year or two in college. I think he would have made it to the NBA on his own. I think this was done for selfish reasons so LeBron could have his, you know, hallmark moment. But I think Bronny would have made it on his own. I think his dad robbed him of an opportunity to have a sense of achievement, something that he did on his own. And I think that even if he was drafted this year, I think he would have been better served on another team so he can really mature and get real tutelage and get real feedback, because everybody's going to handle him with kid gloves. It's just they might say they're not, but that's what's going to happen. And
right.
You don't grow in anything being handled with kid gloves.
Yeah, it feels like this is going to be a situation where you gotta, like, I'm not gonna say exactly like walking on eggshells, but you're gonna have to dodge a couple of landmines because, like, let's just say, for example, you get into a skirmish with, you know, with Bronny. You know what I'm saying? What's Dad gonna do? Is Dad gonna jump in and break it up? Is he gonna shove the other guy off and protect his son? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just
I played basketball. I played, you know,
yeah,
every skirmish is not actually personal. Some skirmishes are fabricated to see what you're about.
right.
So, you know, let's just say, I don't know, D'Angelo Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what this kid made of. I'm gonna shoot him a bow. D'Angelo Russell already isn't very light on the team. So if he does that, now everybody finna come down on D'Angelo Russell and creates this dynamic. So now Russell already ostracized. It's going to be even further. It just causes all types of problems, you know,
And
or Bronny's out of place and defensively, and AD yells at him and tell him, "Hey, get over here," blah blah blah, and he says it in a way that LeBron doesn't like, or he says it in a way where Bronny doesn't feel comfortable. Like, it's just, you know, and it boils down to how much is he with the team. I mean, is he
right.
G League team a whole lot more? Hopefully so. So he can grow. I just don't see him growing being with the Lakers all the time. I mean, and we know he's going to be there the entire training camp. That's where a team bonds. Now you killing you killing the bond time. It's just, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I just think that it's a bad fit. It's a bad fit.
Well, also, Rod, what about situations like, and we know LeBron likes to pass, so and we'll just use this in practice scenarios. We don't think we use in-game scenarios yet, because the likelihood of that should be very low. But let's just say in these competitive scrimmage games or even preseason games or whatever, and LeBron likes to make the right play, right? He likes to pass. So let's say he kicks it out to Bronny and Bronny just continues to brick. You know what I mean? Like, are you going to get on Bronny? Are you going to get on him? Are you going to blame him for missing these shots as you're setting him up for open jumpers? Because just like we heard in the scouting report leading into the show, there was a couple scouts that already said he's not a shooter. You know what I mean? And so what is he going to do at 6'1"? He's a lot smaller than what we all thought he was going to be. So now at 6'1", where's his place on the team? Where's his place on the court? As they say, pick and roll, he's done. Once he switch on a pick and roll, it's a wrap. Now the defense is chasing the whole time. So it just feels like, with it being a fabricated kind of pick, and I get what you're saying, it's late in the draft and you could take a flyer on somebody, but DJ Burns, 6'9", 260, NC State, carried a team that was not. The only way they can make the NCAA tournament last season was to win the ACC tournament. So they had to run the gamut there. Then they couldn't. They have to run the gamut in the NCAA tournament. So he took a team that wasn't even supposed to make the tournament and helped and led them to a Final Four. That alone, outweighed what Bronny did, by leaps and bounds. Why not?
Bronny had better players on his team. I mean, on USC,
right.
there was better players on his team.
Right. Right.
So
why not take a flyer on a 6'9" guy? You just said we need a size. You know what I'm saying? We pass up on a 6'9", 260 player that could have helped in some fashion.
There are hundreds, possibly thousands of players better than Bronny James. Like, it's seriously. So yeah. I mean, this is not even. We know that he was there because of his dad, and that is the problem.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Do you know what that's going to do to your confidence when someone like a Patrick Beverly or Marcus Smart or, lines up against you and they already locking you down and now they start trash talking you and they tell you, you only here because of your daddy. Your daddy can't save you now, boy. Like that, and the thing is, all of this tutelage that I'm sure LeBron's given him over the years.
Yeah.
LeBron can't teach him how to play because LeBron's never been small.
That's a very good point.
So he doesn't understand what it's like to be picked on. LeBron has never been picked on in terms of defensive coverages. You do things to get LeBron off your man. No, they're gonna hunt Bronny every play. What do you do about that? That I hope he spent a lot of time with his godfather, Chris Paul. Hope, but apparently not, because he's not a pure point. If he spent more time with his godfather than his daddy, maybe
right,
further along. But
yeah,
I
just haven't seen too many 6-foot players that are not, a point guard or not a lightning quick player. You know what I'm saying? Like even Muggsy Bogues, right? 5'3", but Muggsy Bogues was built like a tank, right? And he was fast, and he could play point, and he was he was super dynamic for his size. And just what does Bronny have outside of having that vertical? And that vertical can only give you so much. I don't know what it can give you when you're not a ball handler or when you're not a shooter or you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like he has any attributes to really help other than maybe, stand in the corner and make a shot, but he has to develop that. So that's where I just feel like this is just it was a bad decision.
even if he develops a decent shot, is them couple of threes that he hits a game worth the points he's going to give up on the other end? Because again, he is going to be hunted.
Yep.
Like, we're going to talk about the unfortunately the champs right now, the Celtics. We saw them hunt Luka.
Yeah.
Luka 6'8", strong as an ox.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think they would do with Bronny? They're gonna run a pick and roll so they get that switch, and they are going to annihilate him. So he can't be on the floor. I mean, and like I say, this is honestly, I really feel like this is okay, let's give LeBron what he wants. Let the kid run around a little bit. And if he somehow succeeds and sticks in the NBA long, then so be it. But for all intents and purposes, they gave him a 4-year contract.
Yeah.
Which I guess holds him in the league for 4 years. But based on the projections and what I've heard and what I'm seeing, he might have a 6-year career.
Yeah, and that's really stretching it. But you know what, Rob? Let's talk about that too, since you mentioned that. So, a number 55 pick with a guaranteed contract. That's another layer here on the cake that basically is saying that this is done because of the last name, because of the family that he's from. And again, what is that telling?
Contracts. Second rounders don't get contracts. I mean, that's just understood. Especially the late second round, you don't get guaranteed contracts.
Yeah. So what does that tell the team?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, so I mean, even from a negotiation standpoint, when you're trying to approach a free agent and they're like, hey, I'll give you I want to do a 2-year deal with a team option, they're gonna be like, nah, if you giving Bronny guaranteed 4 years, even though it's $7 million, I mean, that's
hey.
But that's
somebody who wasn't even supposed to be drafted.
Yeah, that's $7 million over 4 years with California taxes. I mean, your dad's a billionaire. I mean, that's drinking money. I mean, it's not even,
It's that what they used to give, what our parents used to give us back in the day, the little money allowance. There's a little allowance money.
Yeah. So Lakers basically covering his allowance, but it's just,
man.
To me is very it's pathetic. And I'll say this too, because we was talking about the whole nepotism thing. I want people to understand out there when we're talking about this, because I keep hearing, oh man, you should be happy that a black man got the power to get his son an NBA contract. That's something commendable. You jealous because you can't do it. If you was in his position, you would do it. But I'm like, stop it. He's like, man, nepotism is everywhere. It's all corporate America full of nepotism. There's nepotism all in the. Stop it. We're talking about field of play.
Yes.
Field of play. Your daddy cannot get you on the team. Okay? That's not how it's supposed to work. Yes, your dad owns a car dealership and you get a job there. That's a brag. Yeah. I'm a top exec. My dad owned this dealership. That's a brag.
Yep.
Your dad would actually look bad if he owned the car dealership and his son doesn't have a job. You see what I'm saying? But if your dad goes to your local football team and say, hey, if you don't put my son on the team, I'm going to snatch away my donations and my sponsorship. Your dad grimy, and the kid's a bum. This is sports. Sports is supposed to be about best man win.
Competition.
May the best man, not may the best dad with the most power win. That's whack. And I'm like, tired of people trying to conflate corporate America. I'm pro nepotism in its proper setting. Nepotism has no place in the NBA. You don't think Jordan could have got all his kids? I mean, he owns a team. He could have put every one of them on the team. You know, I mean, listen, Jerry Jones got all his kids in the front office. Okay. If any one of them come and say, "Hey, Dad, I want to play nose tackle," he's gonna laugh them out the room.
Exactly.
You know, it's a proper place for everything. If LeBron James said, "Hey, Bronny, I want to make you CEO of Blaze Pizza," dope. Applause.
Agent.
Hey, yeah.
Clutch
Hey,
Sports.
yeah, Bronny, I want to make you executive of LMR, top exec LMR. Dope, cool. Like nobody cared. Those are things. And they're like, "Oh, Jeannie Buss got there because of nepotism." That's an inheritance. You can't inherit a spot on the Lakers. That don't work like that.
Right.
So this is shady, it's dirty, it's not, it doesn't have a place, in my opinion, in sports, and it is a stain already on Bronny's legacy. It's already a stain on his legacy because from here on out, man, your daddy had to manipulate to get he up here opting out his contract, you know, holding the team over a barrel, you know, come on.
And he got his agent. Got his agent setting the things up, so threatening that he's gonna go play here and there. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna go to Australia if you draft me. All of this foolishness. So your dad can get you. Then you know you've been playing the long game ever since last year. Hey, I'll go wherever my son goes, which is really, you know, a hint to the Lakers. If y'all ain't willing to draft my son, then I'm gonna leave. Like that is, you know, that's weak. And like I say, it's embarrassing for Bronny. And Bronny, and I quote, he said, I don't want the teams to draft me because of my dad. I want you to draft me because you think I'm good. Those were his words. Well,
right.
Hey, your daddy robbed you of that. That shit was set. You had no opportunity to find out what they really thought of you because your dad and you know, so this ain't, you know, like, hey man, I had to get my son here because we were broke and we had to eat. No, you already a billionaire. You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, this is not one of those you saving your son and helping him reach his dreams and all that. Like, because here's the reality to it all. Late round picks like this, more times than not, what agents want their players to do is not even get drafted at that point. And that way you can kind of control your destiny, you know, your navigation of trying to get into the league because you're undrafted. So now you can latch on to any team, jump on a summer league team, and display your talents during the summer league, and any team at that point can try to, you know, can scoop you up. You could have joined the Lakers in the summer league, you know, summer league team, and still then at that point, if the Lakers were like, hey, okay, you really proved yourself,
right?
Now we scoop you up. It come across a lot more genuine. This did not come across genuine. I don't care what nobody say on that. It just didn't come across genuine. We can try to make it that way if you're a LeBron fan or just a fan of the situation, but it's not genuine. It's put together. And then on top of that, what about his heart situation? Like Chris Bosh. Think about Miami Heat. Chris Bosh is a proven NBA veteran, champion, multiple time champion, multiple time All-Star, Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying?
It was cut short.
Cut short the blood clots. Went and got his own independent doctors and everything, and Miami still didn't bring him back. But yet we're gonna bring back a young guy, a young kid, young man with just had a heart situation, passing out, and we're gonna risk that for what? And those are some factors that just add on top of what we heard earlier about how the scouts were saying he's not even draftable. So on top of that, you got health issues, yet he's still drafted. Now, shout out to the Max Vision. He has some comments here. LeBron's money. He was talking earlier when we were talking about money. Then also he said Bronny can play ball. I mean, he can play basketball. There's no doubt about that. But can he play it at the level in the NBA and the level to wear a Lakers uniform? The Lakers don't have money. Rod, I'll let you respond to that one. And then still people will talk if he wouldn't have got drafted. That's where I'm gonna go ahead and answer that one. Then Rod can go back to the money one. If he don't get drafted, okay, it is what it is. No one at this point going into the draft looked at Bronny as being some top player, and probably and most of us expected him not to get drafted anyway. There's no shame in that. There's only 60 players a year on average that can get drafted, and even out of those 60 players, it's a very small amount that make it after that. So you're talking about a 1% job here in the NBA. Only 450 slots exist, and most of those are already taken from the previous season. What you say, Rod, about the Lakers don't have money?
We do have money. We did have money, rather. The fact is that because we're such a clown show, nobody wants to come to the Lakers. LeBron put out there that I'm willing to take a pay cut for Klay to come. I'm willing to take a pay cut for DeMar DeRozan to come. I'm willing to take a pay cut if XYZ player comes. Nobody wants to take our money because they don't want to come be coached by somebody who was just a broadcaster with zero experience, and already, controversy of you using the word nigger. So, I mean, as a white guy, you come from Duke. That's a bad look all the way around. And then, you got this whole dynamic with LeBron and his son. Nobody wants to be a part of that. And the word is out. People are tired of, when they're good, LeBron gets all the credit. When they're bad, it's always somebody else. So
somebody else's fault.
So I mean, what LeBron just did recently, he went and signed the max deal and just sucked up the rest of the money. But money was available. We could have made some moves and got somebody if we were appealing enough for them to want to come.
And that takes us right into free agency, Rod. And you said about offering money. Klay Thompson is now a Dallas Maverick. For those who don't know, Michael Thompson played for the Lakers, won championship with the Lakers. And I saw the interview. He went out and worked, basically paraphrasing, but he talked to his son. He confirmed that he talked with Klay about being a Laker. He even wanted to watch his dog, Rocco. Okay, that's his baby, Rocco. And he was willing to take care of Rocco for him and everything. The money was close. Like the Lakers were offering like maybe a couple more million than the Mavericks were. He took the lesser amount. Now, of course, state tax and living in Texas, which Rod, you would know about that, helps. But bottom line is he didn't want to be a Laker because of the stuff that's going on.
Right. And I wish you had that clip of Nick Wright where he was going on and trying to throw Pelinka on the bus. Like, he's like, how do you miss out when Klay's dad is a broadcaster for the team? How do you mix out when the greatest player of all time, in my opinion, at least the greatest of this generation, calls you and spends an hour on the phone and tells you he'll take a pay cut for you to come? I mean, come on, Pelinka. At some point, you need to close the deal. And he's putting it all on Pelinka. And I'm like, at some point, Nick Wright, you need to understand that it might be LeBron.
Yeah. And keep working. And keep going, Rob, because we're going to try to get the video for you. Keep going.
Yeah, it could very well be. The issue is LeBron is the one that people are turned off about. It's like it never crossed his mind that all this chaos that he's created, from handpicking an inexperienced coach to getting your son on the team, to getting Darvin Ham fired, to trading parts of our championship team for Westbrook. Everybody knew that he didn't fit, but he manipulated and got him there. Then got mad with Westbrook and got him out of there. Like, all of this stuff that's been going on over the past years is added up and people see. And who wants to come play with an aging diva of a basketball player that's going to suck all the air out of the room, take all the credit, and leave you with all the blame. And it's just not Clay did the right thing, and he's already been in that role where, you know, he does a lot of heavy lifting and doesn't get his due, you know. And so I think him going to the Mavs, basketball wise, it was a smart decision. I think he would have fit with the Lakers beautifully. I think he would have helped us a lot. But because of our lack of size, I still don't think he would have got us over the hump. And he just might get the Mavs over the hump. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you could pick up any team can pick up a Klay Thompson, it's going to be a plus because of his shooting ability. Even if he's not the player that he once was, he's still better than most in the league, and arguably, and you know, I talked to my cousin about this not too long ago. If it wasn't for Stephen Curry, we'll be talking about Klay Thompson as in that greatest shooter of all time conversation. That's how well he shoots. And I personally, buckle up for this. I personally think he's a better shooter than Steph Curry. He has the better form. He's a bigger guy. And now Curry does more off the dribble and things like that. But as just a pure form and shooter, like in strength.
Okay. I'm gonna let you off the hook. You mean what you're saying is you think he has better technique than?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's a better shooter. but yeah.
Well, I mean, but he's so good that you don't think about how. I mean, because of Curry, you don't think about how great of a shooter Klay is. Like Klay is he's elite. You know what I mean? He's elite as a shooter.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, and so like, I mean, it's like saying, okay, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Michael Jordan. You know, it's fair to say you will have him ranked higher than Kobe. But man, think about how great Kobe is,
right?
And the only player that you can compare Mike to is Kobe. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's how excellent of a player he is, and that's what I'm saying. Like he can fit with any team, and with the Lakers, that's exactly what the Lakers needed. Is someone who can really shoot the ball.
What's this Mac Vision? He's talking about he didn't want to come off the bench. Klay would have started.
Yeah, he would have started.
Because he would have started. You really think we're gonna start Austin Rivers over him?
Austin Rivers, Austin Reeves,
Austin Reeves. You really think
anybody?
Ain't nobody starting over. We weak at the two.
Yeah, look. Yeah, go ahead, Rod. He's locked in.
Our weakest position is probably the 2 spot. So he would have slid right in. He would have elevated us immediately. That means we could have definitely played Vanderbilt at the 3 because now we're not, you know, we're not so thirsty for shooting that we got to put, you know, a semi shooter out there. Like we could really like a lineup of D'Lo and Klay and Vanderbilt and Hachimura and AD. That's a pretty good lineup. Still want to beat the Nuggets over the size, but that's a pretty good lineup. So I mean, you know, my bad. I left out LeBron. So swap out Vanderbilt and put LeBron. That's a great team.
It's a formidable team. Because think about it like this, Rob. The Lakers. Okay, let's name some players. Let's talk about some players on the team currently. All right, LeBron James, #1 pick. Anthony Davis, #1 overall draft pick. The consensus is that they're both top 10 players in the NBA, even now, even last year, even the year before that. So we have 2 top 10 players in the league. What other team has 2 players of that caliber on their same roster?
I think AD is probably around that 6, 7 spot on the 10th spot. I'm on that top 10.
Yeah.
I haven't considered LeBron a top 10 player for probably the past 3 years. I know.
Okay, but
my eyes tell me.
I understand what your eyes say, but what these people have been saying, LeBron is playing at this elite level. They don't say he's this and that. At age blank, they always say at age blank, he's doing this. He's 27, 7-7. You know what I'm saying? He should have been in the MVP conversation. So if we have players that two players on the roster that are looked at that way, plus D'Angelo Russell was a lottery pick, correct?
He's number
Jackson
2 overall.
Hayes, yep, there you go. Jackson Hayes, lottery pick. Hachimura, lottery pick. So really, there's talent already on this team. We just need LeBron. You know what I'm saying? We need him to do his thing. We need AD to do his thing. We have the talent. Like OKC don't have
All,
what we
all,
have.
all we needed to do, really and truly, I would have been happy this season if we made our normal draft pick, not draft Bronny, draft something useful, and do an all-out blitz on getting Valanciunas. That's it.
Right.
I would have been happy with that, whether we got Clay or not. If we got a guy and just got Valanciunas and slide that whole roster down a peg. So I mean, now Valanciunas at center, AD at power forward, LeBron at the 3,
Right.
Reeves at the 2, and D'Lo at the 1. That's a much bigger team.
Amen.
And I think that team could not only compete with Denver, I think we could beat Denver, and we can match up with anybody else. So if we had to see the Timberwolves or OKC, we can go small. So then that way we take Valanciunas off the floor and we go back to the Hachimura lineup. You know,
yep.
If
talent's there.
Yeah, if we're playing Minnesota, we stay big. Now it's Cat versus AD, Valanciunas versus Gobert. I think we win on the front line. I think LeBron can match Ant-Man, blow for blow. D'Lo, I think he can outplay Mike Conley. I mean, like when you start breaking down the matchups,
it's there.
Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, a lot of people still saying the West is deep. I think with Clay moving, with PG moving, Memphis may come back to the fold and be
I have them in the top. I have the top 4, top 5 in the West next year.
With Memphis coming back to the fold, they'll be interesting. But really, the West is thinned out to me because Golden State was a staple. The Clippers were a staple.
Mm-hmm.
Those teams, to me, they are now. First of all, I don't think the Warriors are going to even make the playoffs now. I think the Clippers, they might be in that 6, 7, 8 range.
Right, they'll be somewhere in there.
But if Kawhi's injured for a real stretch, they could be out the playoffs. To me, it's only 3 teams you got to worry about, and 2 of them gonna have to play each other. So they're gonna eliminate one of them, gonna get eliminated in the playoffs. So really, you're talking about it's OKC, Minnesota, and Denver, and Dallas. I think we're a bad matchup for Dallas. I think we will beat Dallas in a series. So that's even with them having Clay, I think we're a bad matchup for them. Because
that's the thing.
Well, I'll tell you why. Like, it's currently constructed. I think that rookie down there that runs the floor and catches them lobs, AD gonna
lively.
Yeah, lively. Yeah. AD gonna eat him up. AD gonna wreck shop on him. Okay. LeBron always plays, to me, if nothing else LeBron does, even in his old age, he can match Luka blow for blow. Okay.
Now when you say that, Rod, that's again going back to my point that we already have these 2 top guys, because Luka is a top 5 player in the league.
Yeah,
some might say the best player in the league.
But I mean, but when it comes down to it, with LeBron losing his speed and athleticism,
he slows down to Luka's pace.
He's Luka. He's Luka now. So I mean, and so okay, and then okay, I'm assuming we have Vanderbilt. We've seen what Jaylen Brown did with Kyrie. I think Vanderbilt can do that, and defensively with Kyrie. I like our chance to get. So I don't really see Dallas as a threat with the Lakers.
Well, yeah, and I'm. Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna tell you what I think about the West when you get done.
So to me, I see at worst, if we're healthy, at worst, we should be a 4th, 5th seed at worst if we're fully healthy for the season.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, of course, there's a couple caveats, right? If LeBron or AD, if they can, avoid the injury bug. LeBron's late in his career, real late in his career, and Anthony Davis generally finds ways to get injured, but he had a pretty healthy season last year. Can he repeat that? That's the first thing. The second thing will be the continuity, how they can with the team gel, with this new coaching staff, right, that's being developed. And then as far as what you say,
Gabe Vincent virtually didn't play at all.
right?
So if he comes back to the fold and gives something, that's a good scoring punch off the bench, and it puts pressure on D'Lo to play well.
Yeah, absolutely. But then also with the West, right? Some of the teams that we mentioned, like a OKC, they're still a young team, so they're still trying to figure it out. Like they're winning games, and then they're learning in the postseason. Like they learned against Dallas, they took a tough lesson against Dallas. Really, Dallas really should have been out of this thing, but the inexperience for OKC kind of bit them in the butt. Then that's okay, but you still got that.
I want to say too,
Minnesota.
Yeah, but I just want to say this too. Now, OKC is the problem. Them picking up Caruso and Hartenstein.
Yeah, those are good pickups.
That was major because their weakness was they didn't have toughness in the middle. Hartenstein brings that, and Caruso brings hard-nosed defense on the perimeter. They are going to be very formidable. That's probably the team outside of Denver that I'm like, we probably won't beat. Right. I think we could beat Minnesota. I think we could beat Dallas. Now,
but even with Minnesota, OKC experience in the postseason is still where they're at right now. So that going back to what you said, that the door is open in the West is not because the veteran tough teams like Golden State, as you mentioned, in the Clippers, they're in transition.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of changing the dynamics here right now. But go ahead. You had something.
So that's why I say people, to me, the teams that look the best, even though the Knicks lost Hartenstein, I think that was a big loss for them. But the little big moves that make a huge impact. But at the same time, the Knicks picking up Mikal Bridges was huge. So I think our little big move that I really want to see us make was get Valanciunas. I think Valanciunas would have been ideal. Still holding out hopes that we can somehow steal Brook Lopez. We need a big body for Joker. We need a big body. Brook Lopez would be amazing. I know he's slow. He can't guard the guards the way he used to, but
he's big.
But he's big and he can hold his ground. Joker won't just bump him off.
Yeah, because he was just like a pinball. I mean, he was like a rolling boulder, just kind of knocking the AD out the way, spinning this way, get to a spot. But let's go back real quick to this. And I know let me see that comment there that Max had. Okay, Redick, get us to the playoffs. We'll talk about Redick in just a second. But he also mentioned that Clay was on the bench at the Warriors. I do think about that is part of why he left too, because the disrespect, in his mind, feeling disrespected, going to the bench of all things he's done, come back from the injuries and all that. But with the Lakers, you remember LeBron had mentioned that he would take the pay cut, but it was only for certain players. If you're gonna take the pay cut, just take the pay cut and trust that the organization is gonna get, like what you just said, Rod, those smaller moves that can fill out your roster, i.e., like the Boston Celtics, right? Boston didn't have a player that overwhelmed you, but they filled in their entire roster where there was no holes in the boat. So no matter where you turn, they had somebody to deliver
Yeah.
and take the pay cut anyway, and let's make those type of moves versus always trying to go for this home run and stack your team with these name players, and all you do is end up being top heavy and then complain about being top heavy.
Yeah.
So that was my issue there about taking making the scene about
And we
like
just
I'm taking this pay cut.
and we just lost Torian Prince, which I mean, I guess that frees up spot for our rookie. That frees up minutes for him. So I mean, but that's a quality wing player we lost. He can knock down some shots. He played good defense. I'll miss him. I actually like Torian Prince. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I guess he saw the writing on the wall. Torian Prince was definitely a Darvin Ham guy, and maybe he got word that JJ wasn't gonna have a lot of love for him. So
hey man, Darvin Ham took us to a conference final, out of there in 2 seasons. Pretty much who was the coach for that? Gone 2 seasons, and now Redick is here. Matt mentioned Redick, right? Saying get us to the playoffs. What do you think about Redick, Rod? Do you think Redick is going to get the job done here with the Lakers, or is he on the 2-year clock?
No, I don't think he's gonna get it done and I don't think here's the thing. The theme of this show, too much too soon. Okay. Bronny being the NBA, too much too soon. You should have had 2 more years of college. JJ Redick, too much too soon. You should have been an assistant coach for at least 2-3 years before you jump into that seat. And I think it's too much learning on the fly. I'm hearing that they're gonna bring in Rondo. That dynamic is a disaster waiting to happen. Because the funny part about it is if JJ hires Rondo, he essentially just hired his replacement. Because you got to look at it like this. Rondo is more so AD's guy. JJ is LeBron's guy. So if JJ ever piss off AD, we all know how a team dynamic goes. You go talk to the assistant coach. So AD gonna go over there to Rondo. He's like, "Hey man, you seen what he did? Blah 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 blah. What you think about this right here?" Rondo, yeah man, I saw it. Don't worry about it, man. We gonna make it all right, man. Rondo gonna be the shoulder to cry on. So, in 2 years or so, when LeBron hangs it up, he's gone, and it's all AD's team, and they're about ready to fire JJ. Guess what AD gonna do? Well, I like Rondo. Bump him up to that front seat. Now, Rondo has that experience of being assistant coach that JJ didn't have. He saw all his mistakes, all his flaws, everything he did wrong. He got a chance to play the background and see what not to do. Rondo's going to end up being a better coach. And JJ, because that's the thing about when you jump out and you coach the Lakers, it's really nowhere but down.
That's it.
You at the top. You at the top. It's nowhere but down from there. So sometimes you shoot the shot too early.
Yeah. I mean, all of this seems like it's just went from 0 to 100, man. And I'm not certain about this. JJ, he talks a good game, and all that. And he talks all this offense and all these different plays, and I get all that. But Magic Johnson, you remember when we drafted Ball and Magic was like, man, just watch this. LeBron's gonna be off the ball now. He's gonna be finishing. Boy, wait till you see LeBron as a finisher off the ball. Boy, never came off the ball. And I heard Reddit mention this now. We can go back and try to get the video on it, but he mentioned that more LeBron off the ball. I don't see that happen.
every coach. LeBron. Let me let y'all know. LeBron came from high school to the league. He's always been the biggest guy on the floor and the fastest guy on the floor. He only knows how to play one way. He does not know how to play off the ball. When have you ever seen LeBron do cuts and dives and come off pin downs and back screens? And LeBron does not understand that type of basketball. LeBron knows high screen and roll, get me a mismatch, go downhill, get it off the rim, take it coast to coast, go downhill, catch the ball, jab step, shoot a three. That's LeBron's game. That's LeBron. Occasionally, he'll go down to the mid post and
crab dribble for
crab dribble.
Minutes.
And now he has, a decent fadeaway that he's developed over the last couple of years. That's his game. So he's not going to ever get off the ball. So JJ, that's another reason why it's going to be a complete failure, because JJ, you're going to get frustrated because you're going to run this beautiful offense you have in your head, and your best player, your podcast partner, he ain't going to have it. He ain't going to have it.
I like that. Podcast partner. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. His podcast partner. Yeah, man. So, I don't see this lasting long. Somebody's going to have to go in order for it to last long, and we'll see what happens there. Free agency. All right. We touched on it just a little bit about Clay going to not signing with the Lakers. And we talked about LeBron saying he wanted to take a pay cut to land a big name. We already missed on Clay. We missed on Valanciunas. What do you think about the other name I heard was DeMar DeRozan?
That shit already said. LeBron signed his contract. We can't do it. The only thing we can do now is, which we're already shopping D'Angelo Russell and Hachimura. That's what's being shopped right now. Christian Woods, it's D'Angelo Russell, Hachimura, and everybody else that opted into their contract. Now this where Pelinka got bit. He didn't expect all these guys to opt in. He thought these guys were going to opt out and hit free agency, which would have freed up his money to make moves. Everybody opted in, so it locked up his money. And LeBron was going to do him a favor and I'll take a pay cut so I can free this money back up. It didn't happen. LeBron went on ahead and signed the max deal. So now the money's really locked up. And our team is pretty much as is unless we pull off a trade. And that's that. And also too, you got to understand too, when you're dealing with the trade scenario, you got Laker hate, you got LeBron hate going on. When you see that the Pelicans got Dante Murray, who we were coveting for all last season, we were offering a much better package than what they traded Dante Murray for Larry Nance.
Larry Nance, a former Laker, by the way.
A former Laker. No, and this ain't no slight to Larry Nance. Larry Nance is a nice player.
Yeah.
But we offered better. And they like that to me is a prime example of Laker hate, So when it comes down to it, man, I just really feel like this is the team we got to roll with, and I'm hearing maybe we try to trade for Larry Marketing. I don't know. I mean, it's pie in the sky stuff. I think the most realistic trade would be for Brook Lopez, because I think Milwaukee's ready to come up off him. But we'll see if Laker hate plays a factor. Darvin Ham's back there on that team.
Yeah. Or is it may be LeBron hate. It may just be LeBron,
it may just be like hate. And maybe Darvin Ham being the lead assistant coach he might say that the hell with them.
Yeah.
So, you never know.
Because a Brook Lopez for D'Angelo Russell and Hachimura, it seems like that fits both teams. I think that helps both teams.
I think the Lakers lose that trade. I wouldn't give up both of them. I wouldn't give up both of them. I mean, it would be one or the other. Because we would that would leave us with too many holes.
Well, I don't know if Milwaukee gonna do it 1-for-1, but I
Yeah.
don't know, man. I would say this at the end of the day, we got enough talent right now. It's up to
Right.
our
I
star
mean,
players to deliver.
I'll say this. I like Austin Reeves. You like Austin Reeves. Keyword is like. I feel like the front office
Right.
is in love with him, and
Mm-hmm.
their reluctancy to trade him has really blown up some deals. And I think it's caused a problem with D'Angelo Russell, because D'Angelo Russell, I'm just gonna get inside D'Angelo Russell's head.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all shopping me. True, I had a bad playoffs, but I'm better than this white boy. If y'all keep shopping. He's off limits, but you shopping me, and you see some of the names that's being turned down for Austin Reeves. I'm like, I like Austin Reeves, but yeah, I'll move him for Dante Murray. Dante Murray and
Easily.
D'Angelo Russell in the backcourt. I'll take that. I'll trade him for DeMar DeRozan. I'm not seeing this untouchable player that they're making him out to be. I think it's a little, foolish, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. Because if you really look at it, like Reeves was an undrafted free agent, right, to the Lakers. We talked about it earlier. Um, our guy, Russell, lottery pick, top 2 pick in the draft. Like the talent's there. He's put 40 burgers up plenty of times in Minnesota when he was playing there. He put up big points when LeBron was not playing with the Lakers, when LeBron sat and Russell was able to cook. Russell was dynamic with the
Yeah.
points, assists, everything. So it's not that he can't get the job done. He's borderline all-star if you give him the minutes, if you give him the opportunity. So there's a super talent right there. I think our roster is where it needs to be. It's just up to our star players to stand up, stop making excuses, stop begging for more players, stop begging for more superstars. The
Really?
league has shown you that you can win without a loaded. The Denver did it,
Yeah.
and Boston did it with a solid team across the board.
We need two things. Two things. We need a big body center,
Mm-hmm.
and we need a two-way player at the shooting guard position with more size. Austin Reeves is too small to be our starting shooting guard. I would love Austin Reeves off the bench. Unfortunately, Cam Reddish never developed into what we thought he would be. Cam Reddish actually has the body and the makeup of what I envision of a shooting guard. He could play defense, knock down his wide open shot, occasionally put it on the floor to hit a mid-range. That's what I wish Cam Reddish could have developed, and he just didn't. But we're looking for that type of player. We get those
Well,
two.
yeah. Well, we drafted Bronny, and there's a developmental plan in place by JJ Redick now. So I didn't know the Lakers had this developmental program
Okay.
that's coming up now. So I guess that's where that's gonna come from, right? I think that's where you're gonna get your 2 guard from down the line. Hey, here
6'1",
we got yeah. Hey, we got the Nick Wright video, so we can let that play, and then you can comment on that before we get out of here.
So what does Rob Pelinka do? Like, seriously. You have the greatest player ever being like, hey, I'll take less money if you can land somebody. And the Dallas Mavericks, and I picked Dallas to win the championship a couple years ago. I love Luka. But they've been striking out on free agents for a decade. The Dallas Mavericks win a bidding war for a player whose dad is your broadcaster. You sign the coach you try to sign. You can't land Clay. What does he do?
Broadcaster weighs in?
His dad.
What more help does Rob Pelinka need is my question.
Well, your dad is the broadcaster.
Your dad's a franchise legend.
This guy's dad also plays on the team.
Oh, you know what's interesting? Hold on, keep recording. Wait a second. Hold on, stay here for a second. Because when I heard you today talking with Bill Simmons and he mentioned Steph and the connection with the Hornets because of his dad, you didn't make any funny voices.
What did I say?
You respectfully disagreed.
I did not.
You did not go, hey, because you're not an ass when you're talking to other people.
He doesn't play.
Exactly.
Well, let's have Steph go to the Hornets.
See, yeah, you did that. Great. Where was that energy on the BS report?
It was too late.
Where was
I
it?
only do this in the daytime.
So,
Please comment on this plan.
as you can see, more Nick Wright, LeBron fanboy delusion. It never dawned on him that maybe, just maybe, he didn't want to play with LeBron. I mean, it's a possibility that I don't want to come to a team where you got your son on the team, you handpick the coach, and then this whole, well, you didn't get the coach we want. Man, for the millionth time, UConn coach, he was never coming. He was never, that was cover to buy time while JJ Redick finished up the finals. Notice, as soon as it was done, he was announced as the coach.
Yep.
Always in the works. The whole reason LeBron did the podcast with JJ was to audition him and to show, hey, he's pretty good with X's and O's. This was all orchestrated.
Yep.
So LeBron's calling all the shots, and maybe, just maybe, the rest of the league knows that too. And the star players are like, no, I'm not coming there for that foolishness.
Yep. That's it. I mean, that you wrapped it all up in right there. I don't have anything to say on top of that because you covered it. It's just all a facade. And the only thing I say about Nick Wright is he has to be being paid by Clutch Sports.
Of course.
He has to be, because his job is to be, an unbiased analyst, you know what I'm saying, on the channel that he's working for and all that. Like, you're supposed to give us the fair scoop. You're trying to persuade and lean everything a certain way, and to put all that on Klay Thompson and Klay Thompson's dad, that's ridiculous. Klay Thompson is proving that he's his own man and he make his own decisions, and that's what that is. Hey, that's all it is. You can't blame no Lakers or Pelinka for that. Like, the man made his own choice based on a lot of things that you mentioned, Rod.
Yeah, you got all of that going for you, and he said no. Okay, the money can match up. My dad's already part of the team. I grew up in LA, so I'm coming home. I don't have to leave California, which I played my whole career. Everything lines up Lakers, except for that LeBron guy. I mean, it's that simple. It's that simple. And make it so bad, if you really think about it, Klay is really going to be playing out of position in Dallas. Because, I mean, if Luka's the point, Kyrie is the quasi two, Klay now playing the three.
Yeah.
Klay's always played the two. If he played for the Lakers, he's automatically the starting shooting guard. So, just saying.
And boy, can you imagine AD posting and kicking the Klay? LeBron drive and kick the Klay? Like, it is tailor made for him. So there's more to it.
Exactly. I mean, it's this simple. All AD has to do is post up on Klay's side, and the help ain't coming. And if help comes, it's coming from the top of the key or the opposite side of the floor. But it ain't coming from Klay's side.
Yep.
And if it comes from the opposite side of the floor, that means somebody is really wide open. it's probably gonna be Hachimura, LeBron, D'Lo, Austin Reeves, all capable shooters. So Clay would actually elevate everybody's shooting because they're going to be so wide open because nobody's leaving Clay. So it's just it would have been ideal traditional basketball, a better fit with the Lakers, better family dynamic. You don't have to leave states.
Yeah.
All this stuff. He probably
Play
already
for the
has.
team.
He probably already has a house in LA. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
And also play for the team that he grew up liking. You know what I'm saying? That was his team growing up. And he idolized Kobe. And then his dad played there. So he's a Laker. And, you know, with outside of him playing for Golden State and all that inside of him, and another layer inside of him is the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? And that was an opportunity to be able to take care of that. But hey, he made the choice, and I'm happy for him. And I'm glad he made that choice because it's time for our star players to step up and deliver,
yeah.
in my opinion. Man, Rod, I want you to enjoy your 4th of July, man.
Same to you, bro.
That's coming up, man, and boy, this was long overdue. And you know, we have summer league coming up, so we're gonna get back together and kind of take a look at the summer league and also see how this free agency thing, any trades or anything kind of in the works or whatever, and then we'll get back together and do this again in the Laker locker room.
Yes, sir.
All right, he's Rod. I'm 411. We appreciate it. We out of here. Peace.